Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. A theft in Hallettsville led to a 6-hour manhunt. Those details are just ahead. And several states prepare for extreme weather in parts of the country facing fire risk. Others are snowed in. Plus, one federal department could see as many as 70,000 layoffs. What's affected? That's coming up.
And hope you all have enjoyed that sunshine because we've got lots more sunny skies on the way and some more breezy days as well. And coming this weekend, we're going to have another front that may bring with it more fire weather. All that coming up.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a great week so far. It has been a bit windy, a bit dangerous in some parts of the state.
That's right.
Should we not barbecue this weekend, Parker? Should we let our guard down a little?
I would say maybe hold off on it, especially on Sunday and Monday of the coming few days, because that's when we're going to have another front that'll come through and it'll dry us up again. But right now, you may have noticed it's not as dry as it was for the last few days. That's because the winds, they're coming back out of the Gulf and out of the southeast right now. We're going to look at all that here in just a second, because this morning, if you're tuning in with us, a little bit of a chilly one out there. That's because we've got some clear skies and those calming winds right now, allowing all that heat that's trapped in the ground to freely expel into our upper atmosphere, bringing us down to 42 degrees to start out the morning here in Victoria. But like I say, you see the winds calming down. Right now it says out of the east-northeast, but if we look at the wind speeds across the map, you can see, actually if I step to the way, you can see those winds are starting to shift coming out of the southeast. Right now they're looking mostly easterly, but they will start shifting southeasterly as we go into the afternoon today, bringing us another beautiful day. We'll look at that here in a second as well, because right now you can see temperatures not just in South Texas is it cool, also a bit chilly up in North Texas. 35 right now in Amarillo in the Panhandle, but all of us in the Crossroads, we're all starting out our day, like I said earlier, in the low 40s. So go ahead and grab that jacket, like I said. But right now you can see satellite pretty clear down in South Texas, but we do have a little bit of clouds that we'll pick up later today. We'll look at that later as well, because if your senior kid is at the door, grab that jacket for the morning. A bit chilly, but it's going to be another beautiful afternoon, and we'll look at all that coming up next.
A bold theft at a Kubota dealership in Hallettsville led to an intense manhunt after thieves stole 2 zero-turn mowers. They cut through a fence, hid the mowers, and returned to retrieve them, only to find that deputies had swapped them with decoys and set up a game camera. The suspects then fled on foot, sparking a 6-hour manhunt with drones, dogs, horses, and a DPS helicopter. The bad weather halted the chopper search. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Lavaca County Sheriff's Office. You can remain anonymous. Sheriff Justin Marr is bringing in a physician assistant to the Sheriff's Office. Commissioners approved the position on Monday. The new position will consolidate the current PA role, which is contracted out, with the RN supervisor position, which has been vacant. The position will pay around $125,000, which is similar to what is currently being budgeted for the 2 roles that will be consolidated. County officials say it's about $5,000 under market pay. It's a story of fire and ice as many states cope with severe weather from this week. Forecasters say critical fire danger will continue in parts of West Texas and New Mexico today, just after this week's evacuations. The powerful winter storm that sparked wildfires across the Southwest this week is exiting the U.S. this morning, leaving at least 6 people dead and multiple injured in parts of the Midwest after a blizzard blew through the region. Now, a new storm system around the Great Basin is bringing rain and snow to multiple states today. Now to a major development in the president's push to downsize the federal government. He has long criticized the Department of Education, and now sources say he's preparing a new order targeting the agency.
This morning, ABC News has learned the Trump administration is preparing to dissolve the Department of Education as soon as today. Sources say a draft executive order directs Education Secretary Linda McMahon to facilitate a department closure this week. The Department of Education employs more than 4,000 people, spending $251 billion last year. Trump has said he wants to give education back to the states.
I'd like it to be closed immediately. Look, the Department of Education's a big con job.
It's unclear how Secretary McMahon will close the department. Congressional approval is required to abolish a federal agency. Elsewhere, the Department of Veterans Affairs now plans to lay off some 72,000 workers. That's 15% of its workforce.
Now, we regret anyone who loses their job. And it's extraordinarily difficult for me, especially as a VA leader and your secretary, to make these types of decisions. But the federal government does not exist to employ people. It exists to serve people.
Senator Jerry Moran, chairman of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, slamming the move, writing, quote, "The VA is in need of reform, but current efforts to downsize the department and increase efficiency must be done in a more responsible manner." Elon Musk on Capitol Hill last night updated Republicans on his efforts to cut spending.
You know, there's a lot of opportunity to improve expenditures in the government, and then we're making good progress.
At a Morgan Stanley conference, Musk argued the government should privatize anything that can be privatized, including the Postal Service and Amtrak.
Basically, something's got to have some chance of going bankrupt, or there's not a good feedback loop for improvement.
Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you think Veteran Affairs layoffs will affect the quality of services provided? All right, let's take a look. 47% of you say yes, and 53% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. A coalition of 21 state attorneys general around the country have secured a nationwide preliminary injunction against the president's defunding of medical and public health innovation research. The order prevents the Trump administration, the Department of Health and Human Services, and National Institutes of Health from cutting billions of dollars in funds. Those funds support cutting-edge medical and public health research at universities and institutions across the country, regardless of whether their states have joined this lawsuit. Remember to follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, looking at our clock up here at 6:36 on our Thursday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. A Hawaiian volcano continues to put on a show. We get the latest update on its lava flow.
President Trump's trade war with Canada, Mexico, and China. I'm Nicole D'Antonio with details on the impact this could soon have on American families.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast today, it might be a little bit breezy, but it's going to be another beautiful day all across beautiful Texas. So coming up next, we'll take a look at that. Well, good morning, Crossroads. You're looking live and clear in chilly Cuero right now. Starting out the day at 43 degrees, so a little bit cool out there. Go ahead and grab that jacket. All that thanks to the winds that have calmed down, allowing all that heat to freely expel to the upper atmosphere. But you can see it was real clear out there right now, and it's going to be pretty sunny for a good majority of the day. I'm expecting mostly sunny skies today. However, I do think at certain times today we will see just a few passing clouds. Not going to really break too much of the sunshine today. And I'm thinking that'll happen around noontime and maybe again sometime after 5 or 6 or 7 p.m. tonight. That's when you will see probably just a few passing clouds, but it's still going to be mostly sunny up until about the overnight time. And then overnight, we're going to start picking up clouds back to partly cloudy and then mostly cloudy. And those clouds that we'll be picking up tonight will actually keep us a little bit warmer tonight. We're looking for a low overnight in Victoria up down to about 59 degrees, I'm thinking. Some of us might be in the low 60s thanks to the clouds and also thanks to the winds that are coming back out of the Gulf. We'll look at that here in a second. Because today, thanks to the south winds and also that beaming sun, looking for a high of 75, I'm thinking here in Victoria, which is right where we should be. Average is 73 this time of the year, and the record is 92, set in 1949. And looking at your humidity, good news as that's back on the rise thanks to those winds coming back out of the Gulf. Today, that'll be between 30 to 40%, so still a little bit dry, but definitely not dangerously dry, and that will be skyrocketing tonight, especially up to 90% actually with those winds coming out of the Gulf. And today, it will be a bit breezy, a bit in the afternoon time. We're looking for gusts in the afternoon up to 30 miles an hour, 20 to 25 in the morning time, and those breezy winds will bring us another day with pollen. Today, it's very high grass and tree. So go ahead and take an allergy pill, and maybe do that for the rest of this week because we got some more beautiful spring weather coming.
All right, happy Thursday morning here at Crossroads. And yesterday, the NAIA revealed that UHV baseball will be ranked in the NAIA poll for the first time in school history. This, again, is the coaches poll, and they were ranked at number 10. And the Jags were receiving votes beginning of the year, but made the biggest jump by any school here to start off here the first NAIA poll to get up to number 10. The Jags' next game was previously scheduled here for Friday 2 p.m., but it got moved to today there at Jarvis Christian University. The game will start at noon, and then they'll have a doubleheader there starting at noon tomorrow there Friday as well. Then the game will follow there at 2:30. Now over to LeBron James. He made made some history as well. He became the first player in league history to score 50,000 career points. That includes games in the regular season and in the playoffs. The Lakers star hit the mark in front of the home crowd there in Los Angeles on Monday night. James entered the game against New Orleans Pelicans with 49,999. So just needed one more point to get there, and he got it in the first quarter. The three-point basket did the trick to put him over the 50,000 mark, and no other NBA player has within 5,000 points of 50K there for career. I mean, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the closest one to have it in second place with 44,149 points in total. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. This morning, a closer look at President Trump's plan to impose tariffs on some of our closest trading partners. Analysts say prices could soon spike on everything from clothing to electronics and produce.
This morning, families bracing for rising prices stemming from President Trump's sweeping new tariffs on some of our largest trading partners. Prices are expected to rise across the board on everything from clothing to electronics to fruits and vegetables. U.S. Secretary of Energy Chris Wright explains the steps the administration is taking to keep prices down.
I can assure you there's very sober, thoughtful discussions going on behind the scenes about how to solve these problems.
This week, the Trump administration imposed 25% tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada, as well as 10% tariffs on imports from China, which now makes it 20%. The CEOs of the top three American automakers, Ford, Stellantis, and General Motors, making a personal appeal to President Trump, arguing these tariffs will devastate the industry. President Trump agreeing to pause his tariffs on cars coming into the U.S. from Canada and Mexico for 1 month. The president is also considering other exemptions, including for eggs and some agricultural products. The president acknowledging his tariffs might cause inflation. ABC's Rachel Scott asking the White House how long that will last.
How long should Americans expect to pay higher prices?
Again, I don't have a crystal ball, but what I can assure the American people is that this president and this administration is doing everything they can.
President Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau speaking on the phone yesterday, but no signs of a breakthrough.
We don't want this. We want to work with you as a friend and ally. And we don't want to see you hurt either. But your government has chosen to do this to you.
China's foreign minister writing on X saying, quote, if war is what the U.S. wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, we are ready to fight till the end. Even with President Trump lifting the tariffs on cars coming from Canada and Mexico, Canada's prime minister said they are not willing to do so until the tariffs are removed. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Hawaii's Kilauea volcano has been erupting since December 23rd, but on Tuesday, episode 12 of that ongoing eruption kicked into high gear, producing an amazing show as lava fountains reached up to 600 feet high. That's according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The organization says episode 12 actually began earlier in the day with a small, sluggish lava flow out of the south vent. But as it continued, the lava broke through the north vent, leading to these stunning images. The USGS says the current lava flow has covered about a third of the volcano's crater. March's full moon is called the Worm Moon, and it's extra special because it will be a total lunar eclipse, the first in nearly 3 years to be visible across the U.S. Next Friday, March 14th, the moon will look like a striking red color. A total eclipse happens when the moon is full and aligns perfectly with the Earth and Sun. Unlike a total solar eclipse, the celestial event doesn't require special eyewear. The time is now 6:45 on our Thursday morning. Coming up, we hear from a Victoria resident who is working to uplift the visually impaired community.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. I hope you all been enjoying all the lovely spring weather we've had for the last week or two, because guess what? We're going to have lots more of it coming our way for the next several weeks. Winter is officially done here in South Texas. I can guarantee you all that. And actually looking at your high temperatures and lows for the next few days, you can see Lows tonight, they're dropping only to the upper 50s. Some of us might even be in the low 60s. Why is that? Because the winds, they've come back out of the Gulf, and that's going to bring back the humidity and all that warm air. In fact, so warm, we're going to be looking at highs in the 80s this weekend. 82, I'm thinking a high for tomorrow here in Victoria, and 85, I'm thinking for the high on Saturday here in Victoria. But then you'll see that'll drop down to the upper 60s for one day, because we're going to have a weak front that'll pass through on Saturday late. That will drop us back to the upper 60s, and lows will be back in the 40s for a couple days. And that front will be a byproduct of this upper level low pressure system that is coming onshore over the western parts of California, bringing a little bit of an atmospheric to southern parts of California, where they actually have evacuations orders because of mudslide concerns. But that system will be moving eastward over the mountains over the next 48 hours, and that system will bring, like I said, a weak front that will come into Texas sometime late Saturday, passing through the crossroads late Saturday. But that front will bring with it more very dry weather as we go into Sunday and Monday, with humidity values dropping as low as 20% again for us. And if you combine that with the very low rain chances, slim to none, we have more chances for fire weather as we go into next week. So I want you all to be extra careful about that. We'll look at all that more later on Sunrise.
I'm now joined by Ursula Odom. She's here to talk to us about her experience as a person who is visually impaired, and also the work she does to help people get employed and that also are visually impaired. Welcome, Ursula.
Thank you.
So Ursula, you work for the Texas Workforce Commission. Talk to us about the work you do there.
So, in a nutshell, I'm going to say we're a glorified cheerleader. It's all about increasing one's quality of life.
Yeah, and giving them access to work. I know we recently interviewed some people who rely on the paratransit network to make it to work, and it's the plant they work at is specifically for those who are visually impaired. How does your own condition inform the work you do with other people?
Well, I think with the work that, let me just say this, we have to lead by example.
Yeah.
And because I not only live the life, I feel like, what do they say, we walk, we're not walking, we're not talking the talk, we're walking the walk as well.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. So I think information sharing is huge. If we know something, we need to share it. It might not be that you're ready to use it, but you know, the thing is, we're going to compartmentalize things and figure out when we need to use stuff and plug into the system that we need to use to continue to live the life that we want to live.
And to be connected to that workforce. And y'all have an annual event. It's going to be in October.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk to us a little bit about that event.
So that event, this year it's going to be on October 24th. It is our White Cane Safety Day. It is an event that is celebrated across the U.S. It is a free event, so we need you guys to come out and support. It would just be wonderful. We like to focus on people who are blind or visually impaired, their abilities, and also identify the purpose of the white cane and how it's independence. It's all about independence.
And it's open to all people?
It is, yes ma'am.
Oh, very nice.
Anybody, you do not have to be blind to come. It's all about anybody that is interested. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Interested in learning about the blind community.
Increasing the awareness.
Increasing awareness and learning to be a better neighbor.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Well, excellent, Ursula. It's been really great getting to know you, and I just want to thank you for the work you do for the community and your true inspiration.
Thank you.
All right. Well, coming up, don't go anywhere. News to know before you go. Now, Hunter Biden is asking a California judge to dismiss the laptop data case against former Trump White House aide Garrett Ziegler, citing a lack of resources made worse by the California wildfires. In a motion to voluntarily dismiss the case brought in 2023, Biden's lawyers wrote, "The plaintiff has suffered a significant downturn in his income and has significant debt. In this filing, Biden's lawyers say he must focus his time and available resources dealing with his relocation. Speaker Mike Johnson's Chief of Staff, Hayden Haynes, was arrested for driving under the influence. It happened after President Donald Trump's joint address to Congress on Tuesday. U.S. Capitol Police say he backed into a parked vehicle. Johnson is aware of the incident. His office says he has full faith of Haynes' ability to continue to lead his office. U.S. officials say the United States has cut off intelligence sharing with Ukraine. The move could hurt Ukraine's ability to target Russian forces. The decision shows Trump's willingness to play hardball with an ally to force it to the negotiating table. Since the start of the war, the U.S. has provided Ukraine with significant intelligence, including critical information its military needs for targeting purposes. 156 passengers bound for Mazatlan, Mexico, found themselves in El Paso Wednesday after an emergency landing. It happened aboard a Sun Country Airlines flight. The plane landed after someone on board found a written threat and alerted the crew. Law enforcement officials searched the plane after it landed and found no credible threat. The FBI is investigating the incident. At least 60 people were taken to hospitals after a bus crash in Texas on Wednesday. 5 of them were in critical condition. It happened in Port Arthur. The buses involved were 2 charter buses being used to take workers home from a plant. A 3rd bus ran off the road. Officials did not specify which plant the buses were coming from. Investigators are working to figure out what caused the crash. A temporary road closure is coming as crews work on the State Highway 35 overpass project. On Tuesday, State Highway 172 will be closed from State Highway 35 to FM 2143 while crews place bridge beams. If you're heading north from Olivia, you'll detour onto FM 2143, then State Highway 35. Drivers coming south from La Ward will be rerouted onto State Highway 35 as well. Flaggers and pilot vehicles will help guide traffic through the area. Expect possible delays and use caution in the work zone. Texas House Majority signs on to a new bill restricting the use of bathrooms in public buildings by transgender people. You can read the story by the Texas Tribune on crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at a beautiful sunrise with Parker. How's it looking out there, Parker?
You are right in the money, Carolina. We got a beautiful sunrise coming over the coast this morning. All kinds of colors out there, and actually some of the colors are starting to go away because that sun's starting to come up high in the sky. 54 degrees to start out the morning in Port Lavaca. Just a tad bit chilly down on the coast, so I might maybe recommend a jacket, but today it's going to be another beautiful day in the afternoon. So fishers and mariners out there, or boaters, we're looking for a beautiful day out in the waters. A little bit breezy at times, though. That's going to bring us some slightly choppy waves as high as 1 to 3 feet. With those winds gusting up to 20 knots at times. High tide is going to be this evening at about 7 p.m. Low tides this morning actually happened about a half hour ago, and your waters are starting to warm back up into the upper 60s, and at some point this weekend, probably back in the low and mid 70s. But air temperatures on the coast, it's going to be a beautiful one. Like I said, high of 73, I'm thinking today in Port Lavaca. Under all of that, beaming Texas sun. Same thing, Victoria, but a little bit warmer. I'm thinking 75 for today, and about the exact same thing I'm thinking in Cuero, high of 75 for today. And if you're a fan of that, well, we're going to warm up a little bit as we go into the weekend time with southerly winds coming back today. That's going to bring us back to the low and mid 80s for tomorrow and Saturday. But then another cool front coming our way late Saturday should drop our highs back into the upper 60s for a day. And then we're right back in those nice 70s under that sun for next week.
All right, Parker, thank you so much. And thank y'all for being with us. Join Shauna, Don, Maclovia, and Max tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Make it a great Thursday.